All right, guys. So it's no secret that I am a massive Evil Dead fan. I mean, you can see the poster right over my shoulder there. This is my favorite horror franchise. Now, Halloween's my favorite slasher. Michael is totally king of slashers to me. He's my boy. But Evil Dead is so consistent in quality, although sometimes the genre kind of weaves in and out of horror and horror comedy, which I also really appreciate. I'm more of the serious side of Evil Dead, but I find plenty of joy in Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and of course the Ash versus Evil Dead TV show, which I thought was amazing. And 2013 Evil Dead, incredible. Evil Dead Rise, I was a little underwhelmed when I first saw it, but the more I revisit that movie, the more I really enjoy what there is there. So, and also I trust Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Bruce Campbell when it comes to picking up and coming filmmakers to handle their property. I think they do a great job as producers. So I'm very excited for Evil Dead Burn and everything else that we're going to get. It sounds like we're going to get another Evil Dead film shooting for a 2027 release. So let's jump into this. We've just got a little tidbit of news here. It comes to us by way of Alex DiVincenzo over at Bloody Disgusting, and the headline reads, Evil Dead Burn wraps production for July 2026 release. And we've got a still image there of, I don't know what the heck this person is holding. Is this like a camping table or what? I don't know what that is. We'll watch a little video here in a second, but let's jump down to the article and see what we got. Evil Dead Burn has officially wrapped production. Director Sébastien Vaniček announced the news with the brief video below. The sixth film in the beloved horror franchise is set to possess theaters on July 24th, 2026 via New Line and Warner Brothers. Filming began in New Zealand on July 22nd. Vaniček penned the script with his infested co-writer Florent Bernard. Philip Lozano serves as cinematographer. And the article continues by saying, plot details remain under wraps, but Vaniček previously said, quote, I told the studio that I wanted to make a nasty film, a film that hurts, from which you come away tested. I'm going to put all the horror I have inside. It will be cathartic, and if I haven't ruined my career and I can continue to make films behind it, I will move on to something other than horror. End quote. So Vaniček is basically saying, I'm leaving it all out on the field, coach. And I love that. I think that when it comes to Evil Dead, I want to see boundaries pushed. I want to see a movie that will test me and will bring some sort of catharsis, but it will always just continue to push things further and further. I think that's one of the reasons why with Evil Dead Rise, I was underwhelmed at first, because while I enjoyed the movie and it did bring the gore, I don't think it brought it as hard as Fede Alvarez's 2013 Evil Dead, and it certainly didn't push it any further. So that's what I'm looking for from this one. I hope Vaniček doesn't let us down. It sounds like he, like I said, left it all out on the field. And of course, we've got word here that Evil Dead creator Sam Raimi and franchise producer Rob Tappert produce via their Ghost House Pictures. Evil Dead star Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead Rise filmmaker Lee Cronin are executive producing alongside Rommel Adam and Jose Canas, both of whom worked on Evil Dead Rise. So it is, we're bringing in people that have been trusted in this franchise and created this franchise. So I think that's something that really makes Evil Dead special, guys. We don't have this from Friday the 13th. We don't have this from A Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got it in a big way with like Chucky, and I think even with Halloween, there are some people that cycle in and out, but we've got, Malik has been there for a really long time and he's still there, and now, John Carpenter has also been involved as of late. So I think that's encouraging with Evil Dead, that you've got this core group of people that have been there since the very beginning. So that's all I'll say about that. I've harped on enough. And of course, to finish out the article here, another new Evil Dead movie is in development from writer-director Francis Galuppi. So that is the one. I believe that's set for 2027. And if they knew anything else about it, I'm sure it would be right here in this article. So stay tuned for, more news on Francis Galuppi's Evil Dead movie as we get it. But let's go ahead and check out. I think I'm going to hop on over here. Here we go. Well, okay, all right. Well, I guess even though it's a black screen with a bunch of screaming for half of it, yeah, that sounds pretty brutal. So very, very intense and brutal over there. And yeah, so yeah, guys, I'm really pumped for Evil Dead Burn. Of course, massive Evil Dead fan here, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. So whether you're hanging out in the live chat or watching after the fact, let me know your thoughts. Folks in the live chat, I want to hear from you right now. And then all of you folks watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Let me know how you're feeling about Evil Dead Burn and, you know, how you're feeling about the future of the Evil Dead franchise on a whole. So, yeah, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we cover horror news all the time here. So movies, TV shows, books, comic books, video games, whatever, as long as it piques our interest or tickles our fancy, we're going to cover it right here. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.